We are starting as a society to come to terms with it. Initiatives have been in place the past few years designed to draw attention to it. Distracted driving now has the attention of the public.
Every year it just gets worse, and people are dying in amounts that you would never believe. But what we've learned basically, especially around the phone, is this isn't just kids. This is adults.
Craig Riggs knows firsthand because this is the story of his son, David.
And then as we got older, we definitely got closer. Our interests were more aligned. You know, we both loved to golf, we both loved hockey, just like being outside and hanging out with friends. And yeah, just David's just energy and enthusiasm for life was really infectious and made me excited about life too.
Younger brother had taken a job while he attended high school and college at Ideal Credit Union, something he had built on while building his resume in high school.
So he decided at that time to join a program at school called DECA. And with DECA, they had to get a job. And so that summer between his actually sophomore and junior year, his DECA teacher called him and said, "I think I have a perfect job for you." And so we got him up, got him ready, and got him over here. And he wasn't even home in the door, and he got the call that he got the job. So
he had become a popular figure at work, floating from branch to branch. You bring him in as a young guy. Who was he? What do you remember about this kid that bounced around for you?
Yeah, David Riggs. A lot of energy. He was an old hockey player as well.
Yeah.
And fun to be around. Very fun to be around. When I'd go down to the teller line, I'd talk to him a little bit about hockey, and he's very popular also amongst the employees here at the credit union.
That's why it's so difficult to come to terms with it. That fateful day after his freshman year in college, when he was on his way home. And a distracted driver did not see him.
What's it like to get that phone call, and does it go surreal right away? What would you go into shock?
It wasn't even a phone call, Mike. I was like second person on the scene. So I was coming home from work and I saw, something in front of my house, and so my wife Peggy was home. She was in a house and was just talking to David, and David was virtually waiting for his girlfriend to pick him up, and they were going to go visit some colleges that she was looking at grad school. And so I was the first person on the scene, and yeah, I couldn't believe what I saw.
You don't forget the moments that change your life.
And I think if we just continue to put this message out there, it's not to demonize people or make them feel bad for who they are as people living their lives.
You're talking to all of us, right?
Absolutely. And it's not about feeling bad or sorry for me, because I know people go through, could be much worse, right? It's really, we're just trying to help so this doesn't happen to another family.
The days that followed are a blur as they remembered who David was and what he meant.
No mom should have to go through that. What was that like?
As a parent, you fear it. That is going to be your worst nightmare. And when it happens, it turns out to be your absolute worst nightmare.
And at the funeral, they found out their son and brother had touched lives they did not even realize.
We know what he meant to us.
Right.
We had no idea what he meant to
these other worlds that he was living in.
Exactly. There were 750 people that came to David's funeral, and
And he was only 20 years old.
20 years old, yeah. And to think that in 20 years he touched that many people.
As they grieved and processed, they decided there was an obligation, that something good could come out of this.
That's all we can do now. That has been our life. We will take every minute we can and talk about our story. It's always difficult to talk about it because David was, he was a great kid. And he meant a lot to a lot of different people, not just our family.
They found a very willing partner in Ideal Credit Union to start the journey that would send a message to the community that we need to look inward at our own habits.
This idea came up about a year ago, and we wanted to wait until there was enough time had passed, and we felt comfortable approaching the family on a texting and driving campaign. I have kids, and others in the organization have kids, and we see this is happening out there as you're driving down the road, and we wanted to get a message out. We know the Riggs family and the David Riggs story very well. And
it's so important for us as an organization to make sure our employees and our employees' families are safe. And so it just made sense to work with David's family.
What we tell our kids is just call us when you get there, and we've always said that. You know, don't. And the thing is with texting, and you'll find out with research that we've learned, there's this thing in your mind or your brain that says they hear that ding, they got to pick it up and see.
It's an unbelievable addiction, isn't it?
It's an addiction.
That is their focus, to tell the story of David, because there are so many Davids in this world, and they know he would be happy with this cause.
I think he'd be very, very proud of what we've done. You know, part of the message for this, and it's also keeping his name out there. You know, every time we talk about this, we talk about David, and so, you know, people who don't know him or didn't know him, now they're going to know a little bit about him and what he was about.
They're pushing for a phone slip, one where you can put the phone in, and in essence, send your own message that you cannot be reached while you're driving in a car.
And then when you take the phone out of the phone slip, all your calls and all your texts appear.
Don't worry, they'll be there.
They'll be there because it can wait.
On one corporate campus, they're helping spread the word.
this is really part of our fabric. We do other things in the community as well, but this one's obviously near and dear to a lot of our hearts. And I think it's great. It's a way for our employees can get together and remember David and what happened and do some good things in the community.
Because life is too precious to lose it to something we can control. And a grieving mom knows exactly what she would tell her lost son.
Well, you know, the best thing is that I knew it when I had it. I had a great family. I still tell him. He was an awesome kid. And my boys have made mothering very, very easy. So I would just tell him that.
Life to the Max is brought to you by Life Touch, photography for a lifetime.